Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another guide. Today we are going to go over what I call the four pillars, which is ground play, aerial play, speed slash movement, and defense. So you could probably split it up a bit differently. You could probably put ground and aerial into the same category, but it's a whole new game when you unlock aerial play, so that's why I split them up. But let's get straight into it. Talk about the four pillars, um, and this is going to just be my perspective of like an overview of Rocket League before you get super into the game and set in your ways, because I think personally that 90% of people that dump a ton of time into this game, it's mostly unlearning bad habits and or changing settings and having to break down your muscle memory and mechanics and whatever else. So I'm trying to help condense slash accelerate your capability of climbing through the ranks. That's my way of doing so. So getting straight into it, ground play, right? This is your dribbles, this is your flicks, your musties, your 45s, your whatever, right? There's tons and tons, and I mean a lot of guides on these mechanics. Um, Eventually, I am planning on doing my own tutorials on these with less of a this is how you do the mechanic and more of a this is like things that you shouldn't do while learning the mechanic, or micro lessons that I learned while learning the mechanic myself that might help you learn it faster. So, um, like I said, ground play, it's your dribbles, your flicks, and all of the things. I need to turn unlimited boost back on. I had it off for previous video. Um, and yeah, the nothing crazy to it. It is just like 90% mechanics, 10% game sense for the dribble portion. If you need to 50 somebody, whatever. I'll have more in-depth guides on certain situations, and maybe down the line one-on-one coaching to help individual players accelerate understanding these situations. Next, aerial play. I don't expect at all beginner players um, to know these things, to be good at these things by any means. If anything, it's if you're wanting to progress as fast as possible, I will tell you up front that ground play is superior to aerial play. Um, it's just a fundamental fact. Yes, aerial play is super important, but starting out, and you'll realize as you get to higher and higher rank, you hit champ, you hit GC down the line, whatever your dream rank is, you'll realize more and more that ground play is super, super, super important to be really consistent and good at. Um, but aerial play, if you're in gold and can do this and you're just having fun with the game, that's the most important part about early on, is just enjoying the game. You can mess around with things, getting used to aerials, getting used to your car control and spinning. How does it work when I'm in the air and I spin upside down? And there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of custom training packs that you can look at. I personally think that the Psionics packs aren't the absolute greatest, at least for like the rank that it shows, because I feel like some of the shots are kind of above or don't help a ton. But in the browse section, There are some pretty good ones. Bronze Silver Training by Danovich is a good one. Dribble Training, highly recommend this one. For starter players, basic aerials, starter players. If it says rookie at the front underneath the actual title of the pack, then give it a shot. If you like it, then just keep playing it, practicing, putting in the reps, because that is fundamentally how you're going to get better. If you happen to be on computer and not console, you will have access to either if you're playing through Steam by chance, if you're an OG and still um, maybe not even low rank, this is still something that I do. But somehow, if you don't know about it, there's workshop maps through Steam. If you're on Epic, you have to get a third-party app called Bacchus Mod, Bakkes mod, that allows you to install these things. There are video guides on it. Um, the biggest one that I recommend for starting players, or biggest few, I guess, is Dribbling Challenge number 2 by French Fries. It is the Speed Jump Trials 1 and 2 by DMC, and it is the Lethamyr Giant Rings map by Leth, or Lethamyr. Um, some other really good ones that you'll always need training for, whether you're low rank or a higher rank, is Aim Training by Coco, because you will always need to work on that. The Air Dribble Challenge by Giddick, this is like as you're kind of exploring aerials and stuff and getting better at aerials, um, super beneficial. If you're not the greatest at it, don't worry. It takes practice. Um, and that's probably the set of maps I'd recommend. Driven Challenge 2, Speed Jump Trials 1 and 2, Let Them Be Rings, Aim Training by Coco. Those are your fundamental packs that you will just absolute necessity for this game and getting better. And some of them are just mess around, whatever. Training packs, super important. So we've gone over ground play, we've gone over aerial play. Let's go over defense. And I want to highlight this because aerial and dribble play are offensive category. You could break up defensive play a bit. So one of the most fundamentals, especially in lower ranks, and you can kind of cheat this as you get higher and higher, and you'll have to cheat this more often than not as you get higher and higher. But sitting at the back wall. So if the ball is, let's put it roughly right there, right? If the ball is right there, you want to be at what is called back post, which back post is opposite of the half of the field that the ball is on. So right now it's on the right side of the field. I want to be on the left back wall because this gives me the most amount of like space and momentum to cover the net as best as I can. Obviously, if the ball is over here instead, then you want to be here, and that way you can flip in to try and save the ball. Like I said, there will be times that you kind of cheat this a little bit, but just know that like the more you cheat this, the more prone you are to a ball getting shot top corner and it being a bit more awkward to save. There's a whole bunch of factors to defense as far as like when should you challenge, when should you not challenge. Like I said, there's so many. It's very specific situations. Another fundamental that I'd say for a very, very long time, probably to Champ Plus, is if the ball is in the corner right here, if it's kind of within this line to this boost, like these boosts diagonal, I guess, in the corner, anything to my right, then don't worry about it terribly too much because it's going to be difficult for somebody to put a shot on target. So you don't have to like creep up and challenge. You don't have to waste all of your boost and speed flip and go for it if you can speed flip and just chase the ball down. You can kind of play it patient and see if they just give you the ball. Like a lot of low rank is just being super patient, and people will 100% make mistakes and just give the ball away for free. Um, that's pretty much all I want to touch on for early on. Um, the next pillar is speed and movement. So there's a few different things with speed and movement. First is your rotations. As far as getting small pads, most people don't do this in lower ranks. Getting your big pads is what most people want to go for all the time. Sometimes they'll just go for it just cause boost over ball. Um, but learning to weave in these small pads will make you faster. Learning boost management, which is why I had this on standard, will make you faster. So feathering your boost, making sure that you maintain supersonic as much as you can, by which you can get supersonic from a standstill, from 3 flips. If you know how to speed flip, then you can get it from 1 by boosting a little bit from a standstill. I'm supersonic. And you just have to learn like feathering and a whole bunch of different things movement wise, or sorry, mechanic wise, that will help you. One of the things that you just saw was the speed flip. The wave dash. This is the number one movement mechanic that I recommend earlier players to learn. There's tons of guides. I might make one another time. That's not in this video. Another big one is your half flips, which once again, there are tons of guides. That won't be this video. But those two mechanics and lower ranks, for sure, try and do your best to learn them and use them as much as you possibly can. You can use them on the wall, you can use them off the wall. And that's just the forward variation. You know, there's sideways and all different kind of crazies. The speed flip, because I showed it earlier, I'll go over real quick. This is something that you know you can learn realistically. You can practice in plat if you really just want to, but will probably take you until diamond champ kind of area to really get good at. Boost management, like I said, learning to feather your boost, not just hold it down the whole time, because I'm holding it down while pathing. And I can boost for a while. Like, if you're properly pathing and all of these boosts are up, then you won't ever run out of boost, but you're going to be using all of your pads and then your teammates will scream at you. So don't do that. Don't be that person. Learn boost management for sure. The other factors of speed, or the biggest factors of speed outside of just mechanical stuff, is the game sense portion, which is kind of like a 60-40 split of kind of either or. It really depends on the situation. Either it's 40% mechanics or 40% game sense, vice versa. 60%. Um, so the big thing is let's say the ball is in the corner. We were just talking about the corner. Just because this isn't a threat in the corner doesn't mean that ball can't obviously pass in front of your goal. So you still want to be worried about it. But going to speed and talking about it, say your teammate's doing exactly that. They take the ball and they're passing it mid, right? In low ranks, I would say it is pretty okay and exactly fine to be sitting closer than usual. You can sit like up here, probably, and you know somebody might pinch the ball, ball might pop up in the air, whatever, but more often than not, people are just going to miss. Your teammate might even mess up the pass, but being here isn't necessarily a bad thing. All you do is turn around, you go down this midline, right? Or you can go wider and use what I call the American football route, which is this, right? So there are 8 pads on the football route, which is 96 boost. So you can go from 0 to full doing this route, but it leaves you in kind of a weird spot when you get back. So pay attention to where the ball is. Um, this middle route is 6 pads. So what is that? 72. 72 boost from taking the middle route. And because the middle route is a straight line, you will be faster to net going down the middle, and you'll have 24 less boost, which, you know, is approaching negligible, but obviously to lower ranked players and whatnot, it, you know, becomes super important to have the extra 24 boost. Just because you'll still be learning your car control, you'll still be trying not to mess up, learn your double jumps, your speed jumps, all the things. But putting those rotations in is super important. There's also the diagonal routes, right? So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pads on the diagonals, and that exists here as well. You get 4 there, and then you can get back post. But just looking for optimal routes to get as many pads as you can without putting yourself in a bad situation, because you still want to be looking at the ball while you're doing this. Obviously, I need to practice this, but not just going for the big boost. You can cut it straight across, get that one, hit this diagonal up, get that. Getting really good at the routes themselves, but especially the routes while just looking at the ball is super important, and this is something I'm practicing, and I am GC, so that, you know, goes to say something, because I definitely don't practice that enough. But getting really good at that and knowing about it ahead of time will keep you more so or less for a very long time, for the famous saying, boost over ball. The next factor, which it's been a minute now, so I'll go back to it, is the pass example of reading where the ball is going to be before it is even there. The second portion is positioning, and that is just, like I said, pre-reading where the ball is going to be, and then all you have to do is know that, oh hey, I need to be ready to hit this in off his touch, or maybe he misses and I can do this, whatever. Um, just because you can be super speed all the time and all the things, you can just hold down boost, you can just keep going. Sometimes my famous saying is less is more in Rocket League, where you can just be driving around, turning left, turning right, accelerating, no boost, and you can still really mess people up because they expect you to hit it faster than you are. So don't get so caught up with boosting all the time, and that's the biggest portion of boost management, is being able to read the ball. Where is it going to be? Okay, it's going to bounce there. I'm going to have to jump, and it's in. Those are the 4 pillars. I believe I said at the start of the video, but in case I didn't, I plan on doing more guides that are a little bit more in depth than just the general understanding of it all. I plan on doing 1v1 coaching at some point, and I can go over more specific examples. If you guys have any questions, by all means. put them in the comments. Let me know. I will get back to you as soon as I can, as best I can. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and watching the video. Have a great day. Peace.